Hey everybody, my buddy Dave over at David's Passage suggested I do a little review / tutorial on the ThermaCell mosquito repellent system, and I thought that was a pretty good idea, especially this year since mosquitoes have been kind of bad, ticks have been kind of bad. Thought I'd just do a real quick tutorial review / and go over this, and then maybe even show you put it in action a little bit. The ThermaCell, I don't know how long these things have been around. It's been a few years. I bought my first one last year. Kind of thought they were a little bit gimmicky, you know, just based on what I'd seen in magazine ads and television ads and stuff. And then I found out my boss was using them, and he's not the kind of guy to use something gimmicky, so I thought I'd give this a try. And I like it. That's the ThermaCell unit right there. It uses a butane cylinder. Make a little bit of heat. That's the control panel where you turn it on and off and get it started. To make heat, to heat up one of these pads right here, wafer, that has the mosquito repellent on it. Now that slides right inside there, just like so. It's pretty easy to operate. It's a matter of turning that on. Got a piezo igniter there. That'll get it going. And I'd be willing to bet this thing's going to take off here. And then you got the little indicator at the top, which you probably in this light won't be able to see, but that'll glow orange when this thing lights up. I don't know if it's dark enough for you to see that or not, that little orange glow, but anyways, the unit comes like that. It's just a box with the propane or the butane and a couple of pads, and I bought it in a kit that came with the holster, which you kind of need the holster because it does a couple of different things. One, you can put it on, you can hang it on your belt. It's got a belt loop there, and then it's got this strap here, so you can hang it from a tree, hang it from your ridge line on your, if you're using a tarp. And like I said, I bought this one last year, and I used it for the first time during turkey season. And I can tell you that I went out and scouted turkey before I bought this thing, and it was covered in ticks and mosquitoes. It was a miserable experience, to be honest with you. Bought this, put it into use, and I didn't get any more ticks on me last year. So along with being a great mosquito repellent, this thing, it doesn't say so in the instructions or in the package, but it's I think it repels the ticks, because I had the same experience here a couple of weeks ago. I got out with my kids and got out without this, and this just slides right into that holster, then buttons up right here. But I got out without the ThermaCell, and I got covered in ticks. I've taken it out several times since then, and no ticks. So what that tells me is this thing has a tendency to repel ticks a little bit, because those things are pretty bad this year too. This thing, once you get kind of used to getting it mounted on there, it kind of goes on here kind of like a diaper, like that. And then what you've got on the holsters, you've got two pouches. One, you could keep spare butane cylinders in both of these. I usually just keep one cylinder in here and spare wafers, because the cylinders last a lot longer than the wafers. You go through 5 or 6 wafers before you go through a cylinder. Well, 3 or 4 wafers before you go through a cylinder, because when you buy the refills typically come about 3 cylinders, 4 cylinders, or 3 cylinders per repellent mats. And you can see right there, this kit that I bought here is that's 4 refills. You've got 4 butane cylinders, 12 of these mats. It's kind of expensive to operate. It's a whole lot cheaper to go with DEET, but DEET doesn't cover as much. And even with these, if you're traveling in a group, if you've got the kids with you and you don't want to cover the kids in DEET, you know, if you don't want to use the off or cutter or whatever, fire this thing up, and it'll cover the whole family as long as you stay within a certain area. And I think it's somewhere in the range of a couple hundred square feet, you know, 10 by 10 or 10 by 20, something like that. So it works. I'll attest to that, and I'm not one to review anything that's just come out of the box. I've had this thing for a year. I've used it, and I've been really happy with it. And I'm gonna mount it up on my belt here and wander off into the woods, and we'll see how it works. Well, I'm standing in one of these shady spots where you usually get attacked and swarmed by the mosquitoes on a day like today. And ThermaCell seems to be working pretty good. No bugs anywhere near me. I had one mosquito that flew about 12 inches. Kind of went all the way around me at about 12 or 14 inches away from my kneecaps, and then flew away. Decided he didn't want any part of it. So the ThermaCell, even though it's kind of expensive, it's like 20 bucks to buy the unit. If you shop around, you can find the actual box with a couple of cylinders, a couple of butane cylinders, and repellent pads, and maybe even that holster unit for 25 bucks. But it's kind of worth its weight. It's worth what it costs, just to keep the bugs off you. Even right here in the face area, a lot of times you'll find yourself just swarmed on a day like today. Not so with the ThermaCell, so it definitely works. Well, I don't know if my camera's picking that up, but this area here is just swarming with the little mosquitoes and other bugs. There aren't any on me. They're staying clear of me. Okay, there's literally thousands of mosquitoes within just a few feet of me here. And they seem to just kind of dissipate from the area when I walk into it. So gimmick or science? I'm thinking the ThermaCell is definitely science. Another thing that kind of prompted me to want to do a review on the ThermaCell was kind of seemed like a pretty big coincidence. My buddy David mentioned I did a short fishing video out here. I put up a couple of days ago, and my buddy Dave asked about how I was keeping the mosquitoes away. I told him the ThermaCell. He said I should do a quick tutorial on it here and show people. Well, then this morning at the barber shop, I had a guy. We were talking about it, and he says, "Oh, that's a gimmick." He was pretty sure the old ThermaCell is it's just something to get your money. But I got to be honest with you, I know plenty of people that use these things, and nobody that I know has said that it didn't do what it said it was going to do. In fact, I don't think that of course I don't have the original box anymore. I threw it away, but I don't think that the ThermaCell people even said anything about the fact that this will keep ticks away. Usually when I've got this thing on, I don't have a problem with ticks. So, anyways, the barber and I talked this guy into. He said he's going to go buy one because between the two of us, we had some pretty good testimony about it. I'd like to give an honest review, and of course, if you want to spend a day out in the woods, especially, if you get off the beaten path, get up into the shade and the grass like this, where the mosquitoes are just going to be horrendous. If you got kids, diseases or mosquitoes carry diseases too. The West Nile virus and such. It's not just a matter of getting a little welt and itching and scratching anymore. It's you can get pretty sick from a mosquito bite. So you should take that seriously. DEET works. I've used it quite a bit, and I still use it. There are still occasions where that's the ideal thing to have. But the ThermaCell, that's gonna be from here on out my main appliance for turkey hunting, mushroom hunting, just generally wandering the woods this time of year. It's a pretty good investment.